Good morning, students. And I say that with a little more emphasis because I need to hear that today. I needed to be reminded of that this morning myself. You see, last night my daughter and we built a tent in our basement and we made plans to spend the night in there. I knew that this could present a few challenges, but I was still pretty excited about it and she was really excited about it. She went to sleep at 7, things were going well, and then she woke up at 11 p.m. and then close to midnight, and then 12:30 she woke up again, she was thirsty. And then again at 1:30, just after 2. At this point, I was getting frustrated. She was getting frustrated. It's like, do we keep pushing through this? Do we keep going? This is not our original plan. And then at 3:18, that was kind of the last straw. She woke up. She was in tears. I said, all right, let's go to sleep upstairs. And that's what we did. We went upstairs. She fell asleep. I got into bed, and I remember looking at the clock, 3:36 a.m., and I was a little frustrated. I was obviously a little annoyed. I knew that this might happen, but I still had hoped that it would have played out a different way. But in that moment, I still was able to kind of just think, what are the facts right now? I've got to wake up at 7. I've got to work tomorrow, and I want to do it with a good attitude. I'm thankful for Isla. I'm frustrated a little bit right now, but she's been an answer to so many prayers. She's a gift. And with that, I kind of hung my mental hat, and I rolled over and I went to sleep. Now, I want to talk to you real quick about remembering who God is, what God has done, even though we're in the middle of this, again, unique season in all these different circumstances. Psalms. It's a book in the Bible that really is a collection of prayers. Some would say it's the only book kind of written back to God. It's a series of words and prayers that one can speak, or you can pray again to God as we make our way through our days. Specifically, I feel like it's so important for you just to kind of always take this with you. If you're going through certain circumstances, just pain, uncertainty, look to Psalms. It has language that allows your emotions to be on paper, to be on print, and you can often find scriptures that really relate to where you are. But there's nothing that you can't really go through that you can't also somewhat find in Psalms, and it also equips you with ways to respond to God. You know, you can still give him your questions. You're supposed to still give him your doubts. One of the Psalms I go back to is Psalm 13. I thought about it last night. And really, it's a model for all of us in moments like this, where we're kind of frustrated, we're in the middle of disruption, we're in the middle of just poor thoughts, and all of a sudden we see how David just kind of stops and thinks about God. I want to take a look at chapter 13. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? You see, he's right to be in the middle of a tribulation, or he's already there. He's leading up to despair. How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. He's given him his thoughts. He's given him his concerns. He's frustrated. Light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say, I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken. David was pouring out his feelings and his emotions. Remember, God can handle those things. God can handle the doubts. But here's the really neat part. Let's take a look at these last 2 verses, and this is where I want you to be encouraged today. But I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. You see, despite wherever David was feeling, whatever he was going through, he was able to stop, gather himself, and remember the truths of God. Those truths are like facts, and to him, the truth of God is love. God has always been there. We know who he is, and we know what he has done. And in that moment, David was able to gather himself and just focus on that. Give it to God in the midst of the uncertainty, in the midst of your state that you might find yourself in. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling rejected, if there's despair, if there's just uncertainty because of all the season we're in, it's still a time for us to be like, okay, God knows where we are. God has been there before. Let's look to these truths, these examples, and let's begin to try to trace them out in our lives. So let's remember, whatever trials, whatever frustrations, wherever you find yourself, nothing can separate us from the love of Christ. That's a choice that we have to make, though, sometimes in those moments, to remember these words that we just found here in Psalms. David gives us a glimpse into his life, and I hope that you can take these words going forward and make them some of your prayers. We love you guys. We're praying for you, and we'll see you soon.